Hey guys, techmadeezy, and thank you so much for clicking on our video today. Well, we've got the RockPals RockPower 500 here with us today. And that means it's a 500 watt power station that packs a 505 watt hour battery in this small thing. I mean, look at my cup and look at the power station. This thing is tiny. Hey, it's got a cool design. It packs some good power. But guys, you're going to want to see this review because I don't know if I could recommend this, to be honest with you. After spending some good time with this thing and doing some testing and really taking a close look, I'm not sure if I can recommend it. And let me tell you, this is a sponsored video. This is my first video with RockPals, but my obligation is to my subscribers. I have to be brutally honest with you. So let's go ahead and get this party started. Hi, this is Al from techmadeezy with a really quick message. The video you're about to watch is sponsored. We received this product from the vendor. But keep in mind, we will be very honest with you as we review the product. That is very important to us. If you like our video, I sure hope you give us a thumbs up. I hope you share our video. And last, I really hope you subscribe and become a part of the family. Thank you. Now it's time for the unboxing. And there it goes. Wow, that thing is tiny. And you know, I can't get over that this is a 505 watt hour capacity battery, and it can also supply 500 watts. I think that's pretty impressive. I mean, look at my cup. So that's pretty cool. So you do get your power brick and your cable that connects to it. You get a car charge cable, and yeah, it's got a barrel plug on the other side. You do get a small user guide and a quick start guide. And that's it. So let's go ahead and take a close look at this thing. So let's start off really in the beginning of this video talking about what is this made for? We're going to have a section in this video called Know Before You Buy, and that'll be later in the video. And we're going to go over estimated run times, and that'll be helpful also. We're also going to run our refrigerator with this thing to see how long it'll last. Look, this really is not home backup. It's not. This is great if you want to plug in your phones, your tablets, your laptops, charge your drone batteries. You know, can it keep your refrigerator on for a couple of hours? I would think so, and we're going to find out. But this is a really, I am amazed that this thing has 505 watt hours, and it supplies 500 watts of power. I am just amazed because this thing is, I mean, so small. And I like the design. I really think it's, you know, as far as looking at it, it seems like it's really just a good looking device, you know, very unique. All right. They definitely designed this thing well. But I wanted to start off, like I said, just what is it made for? And like I said, without doing testing, because we're going to do testing, we might learn more towards, you know, final thoughts at the end. But to me, this is going to be perfect for you to keep your devices charged, like your phones, your laptops, your drone batteries. You know, you're not going to run a microwave off of this because microwaves are like 1,000 watts, right? You're not going to make a cup of coffee off of this unless you have a really old, small coffee maker. And again, we're going to cover in Know Before You Buy later on in the video with some estimated run times based off of the watt hours of this device and obviously its power capability. So just wanted to start off with that. Let's now go over some basics and some specs on this. So this is RockPals RockPower 500. That's the model. MSRP on this is $599, but it does sell for less. I have seen some really good sales prices on this. We'll put links in the description. The power. So this is a 500 watt with a 750 watt peak. So that's good to know. It does have a pure sine wave inverter, and that's important. So if you're going to plug in sensitive electronics here on the AC side, you're covered. So just know that. Now the battery in this thing, like I said, I am impressed that it's 505 watt hours. So that's the capacity of the battery. It is a lithium ion battery. The life cycles are 500. And I'll find out if it goes to 80% or whatever. I contacted RockPals because I couldn't see that listed anywhere. And what I'll do is I'll put a little note there after, they get back to me, okay? Solar, by the way, this can take 120 watt max, all right? 13 to 22 volt, 6 amp. Now, this does not have pass-through charging. It only offers pass-through charging through your USB, pretty much, and your DC, all right? It doesn't offer pass-through charging on the AC outlets, all right? And that also means it doesn't offer any type of UPS. So if you're going to need an uninterrupted power supply, this will not do that. So just know that, all right? The weight on this is 12.5 pounds or 5.67 kilograms. And it does come with a 2-year warranty, which is nice. Let's go over the outlets real quick. So your DC in is going to be either Anderson or a barrel plug. All right, so these are the two ways that you'll actually input power into this. The power brick plugs into here. You do have a car charging port, which is good. You do have 2 barrel ports as well, and you can plug like certain laptops and things into. So that's good. The power button for DC is right here. You do have 3 USB Type A. One of them is quick charge, so it'll be a little faster. It's quick charge 3.0. And then you do have a USB Type C, which is good. This is a 45 watt USB Type C, so that's good. Here's your power button for your Type C. And then again, your 500 watt pure sine wave AC outlets. I like that they have covers, by the way, too. That's kind of nice that they have a cover. It just lays on top, and there is your AC, button there. You can just press that to turn on your AC. Your screen does have a display button. Let me turn off the lights and show you the display real quick. All right, let me go ahead and turn the unit on so you could see the display. Now, the display's not bad. I mean, in bright conditions, it's not that great. We'll try to do some testing when we're outside, but let's turn this on for a moment, and you'll see the unit turns on. Now, as we turn on the DC, you'll notice it starts showing any output. If I turn on AC, I believe AC requires that you have to hold it a little longer. So there it goes, AC's on. USB, just one tap. So for your DC and your USB, just tap the button, it turns on, turns off. When it comes to AC, you do have to hold the button to turn it on and hold it to turn it off. Now, I do notice that there are green lights here, but I don't have one here. I don't know if that's just a defect or just the way the unit is made. But there is just a little look at the display. One thing I really don't like is the way the screen was made. You see the corner here where you can see the light, the bottom. It just seems like whoever designed the screen, I mean, the top, even the top shows up. You could see the light coming through. I think they could have did a better job quality-wise on that. I mean, again, the screen works, right? But that bleed through of that light, that shouldn't be that way. So let's continue on with our look at the unit. Again, as you could see, there's a lot of light in here so that this display is not the brightest. How is it in the sun? I'm not sure. Handle here on the top, nice big handle area, no rubber or anything. It's all plastic, but you've got, the RockPals logo up here. Got that red and black. Got a screw here. Same thing on the other side. So there you go. RockPals logo here. Model number. down here. You've got some spec information down here, and you've also got these rubber on all four corners. Nice, you know, not as thick, but they should do the job. They are slightly raised, so they should do the job there. And let's look at the sides real quick. So the sides actually have fans on both sides. So I'm believing one is an intake, one's an outtake. So you've got a fan here that I can see and ventilation. On the other side, same thing, fan, ventilation. If we look at the back, we've got this nice big RockPals logo. And then again, model information on here and that design. So that is our close look at the unit. So now we're going to go over what I call know before you buy. And this is something that I'm going to start doing in all of my power station videos. And that's important. You have to think before you're going to buy this unit or any unit. Number one, I'm going to put up on the screen, what do you want to power, right? What appliances, what devices, you know, phones, laptops, tablets. You know, this unit that we're talking about today is great to take with you on your little journey with the kids in the back of the car plugging in their laptops or their iPads or charging their phones. You could take this on trips and charge drone batteries, you know, and take it with you camping and plug in a solar panel. You know, it's a nice, small, portable unit. Again, offering 500 watts, and the battery size is decent, considering. I don't know how they did it. A refrigerator, you know, we'll talk about that later. But that's number one. Let's go to number two. So number two in know before you buy is look up the specifications on what you want to power. What's the wattage on what you want to power? What's the surge rating or the startup wattage on the items you want to power? I give you an example. My TV uses about 140 watts. It doesn't really have much of a big surge, to be honest. It's pretty consistent. But my refrigerator on the other side, you know, I've got a new refrigerator. It's a 2021 refrigerator, but it'll start up using about 160 to 170 watts. You know, when the compressor kicks in, it's very similar. But my refrigerator will probably average about 40 to 60 watts. So those are two different examples, but you need to look some of that up. If you do, you'll be very happy because you will get what you need. Now let's go to number three. All right, so we covered number one, which is what do you want to power? We covered number two, you need to look up your specifications for your devices, right? Your wattage, your surge wattage. But now we're up to number three. How long would you want to run those devices, right? Your appliances and devices. So think about this. You say you have a power issue that happens once a year. Let's just give you that example. And you lose power for about 10 hours. Well, there's your starting point. I need to be able to power my devices for 10 hours. Now, what are the devices or appliances? What are they? Are they your refrigerator? Are they your TV? Your home internet? Well, let's take a look at the next slide, and we're going to go over estimated run times based off this power station. All right, so I'm going to bring up a slide, and we'll go over it together. So here are estimated run times based off this power station here. So let's say you're using a coffee maker, and I'm going to tell you now you're going to find most coffee makers probably won't run on this machine. Why? Because a lot of us own more expensive coffee makers these days. Not everyone, but a lot of us. So when we talk about like a Keurig, my Keurig at home uses up to 1,400 watts to make a cup of coffee. So this RockPals would not be able to power it. But let's say you have a coffee maker that's 500 watts or less. Well, guess what? You'll be able to make a couple of cups. What about a refrigerator? If I have a refrigerator that uses 200 watts or less, I can get an estimated 2.5 hours. What if I have one of those small college refrigerators that uses about 75 watts? I can get an estimated 6.5 hours. What about a large flat screen TV? Well, mine uses about 150 watts. This power station will give you an estimated 3.5 hours of use on that TV. What about home internet? What if I want my router and my modem on, right? Well, this power station will run for an estimated 10 hours if you're using about a 50-watt router and modem combination. What about a fan? You live somewhere and it's hot and you just lost power and you want to run a fan. Well, let's say a 60-watt fan. A 60-watt fan would run for an estimated 8 hours. LED lights. Now, LED specifically, they really don't use a lot of power. So guess what? One 5-watt LED light could run up to an estimated 100 hours. What about a CPAP machine? Well, if it's a 60-watt CPAP machine, you could run it an estimated 8 hours. And if it's a 120-watt CPAP machine, well, you can run it an estimated 4 hours. I hope these examples helped you. All right, it's 6:45 in the morning, and we're going to plug this in and see how long it takes to charge. Now, you're going to see that it's starting at 10%. It's actually drained to 0. But we'll find out how long it takes to charge. "70 watts. We're 1 hour in and we're 22% charged. 22% charged, 71 watts going in, 1 hour in. 4-hour check, 61%, 4 hours, 71 watts. Six-hour check, 86%. 6-hour check is 86%. 6.5 hours, 93%, right? 6.5 hours and we are 93% charged. Seven-hour check, we are at 95%. This continues to pump 71 watts into the unit. It hasn't changed at all. All right, we're finally 100%. It's now 2:57 p.m. First time seeing this, but I'm plugged into a wall outlet. You could see here we're charging via AC. And we just went from 94% to 96%, but it's not showing any input wattage. I believe before it did, you know, when I charged it the first time. So, interesting. One of the features I really like in a lot of the power stations today is something called pass-through charging. And what it means is, do I have to plug this in and let it charge before I do anything with it? Well, pass-through charging allows you to charge your unit, right, and recharge your batteries, but also power other devices. So let's go ahead and test that. I'm going to turn on the AC outlet on the unit, and I'm going to actually start charging this battery. All right, so right now we're just charging the battery. We're not charging the RockPals. So let's go ahead and plug in the RockPals and see, can we charge that while discharging and charging other devices? I love this feature. Does this unit have it? All right, so this unit is coming up with an error that tells me that it doesn't support AC pass-through charging. I guess the next question is, does it support DC, right? Can I use my USB ports? So let's try that now. I'm going to unplug. Well, let's see, I'm going to unplug the AC adapter. I'm just going to reset that. Okay, so I am charging. As you can see, the battery is charging. I'm going to go ahead and plug in my iPhone now. And will it accept a charge? All right, now I do need to turn on USB. Okay, so that works. So I am charging at 70 watts and I'm outputting a few watts to the iPhone. So you do get pass-through charging, but only on DC. You don't get it on AC. I wish they added that in the future, but there's our test. Next question is, can this mini power station power this DC refrigerator? Well, let's check it out. Let's go ahead and grab the adapter, put it right in here to this guy, turn the power on, turn on our DC, watch the wattage, but it's going to take a moment because we're going to turn power on, and then we're going to try to drop the temperature to make the unit kick in. All right, 2 watts, 11 watts, 15, 24, 30. And we're using about 30 watts to power this thing. Compressor's on, I could hear it. This is a Setpower 12 volt portable DC refrigerator. So that compressor's definitely on. I've seen as high as 70 watts while I'm watching here. The fan is on full time on the unit. Again, it can handle it, right? It can handle up to 500 watts, you know, and DC, definitely efficient. You know, if you get yourself one of these small portable refrigerators, we'll try to put the link for this guy in the description. But yeah, it's handling it like a champ. This is a 700 watt charger. So I'm going to see what happens. All right, let's plug it in. And let's turn on the AC. Let's see what happens. All right, 566. 600. All right, we're still on. This is there it goes. All right. So that made sense. All right, so we couldn't do 700, but let's go ahead and see if we can get to that 500. So turn it on. We've got one side with a battery. We might try a second battery. I think we will. I think this is about 250 watts on one side. All right, we're hitting 170, 190, 200. All right, 240. Aha! Let's put a second battery on and see what happens. We're at 247. So second battery time. Okay. A dual charger. And let's creep over now and take a peek. 300. Almost 400, 400. All right, 457, 475. Oh boy, 501. We hit it. Will it stay on 500? Let's just make sure. We'll wait a moment and see. It should be able to. And there we go. 500 watts powering the dual charger like a champ. That's good to see. I'm waiting, but everything's working out fine. So there you go, 500 watts. So here's the question. Can this little guy power my 55-inch TV, my fan, my home internet, and my refrigerator? Well, we're about to find out. So the TV and the internet are connected to this. The power's off, obviously. So we're going to go ahead and turn the power on the AC outlet. Let's just see what type of power we're using. By the way, I have LED lights behind the TV also. So we've got 83, 95, 100, 110. TV's turning on. 157. All right, so we got about 157 watts going out. And we're going to connect the fan, and then let's connect the refrigerator. Just connected the fan. Let me go ahead and turn that on. I'll put it on low for now. And the wattage is adjusting. You know, the TV went on. All right, we'll put the fan on high for a moment. Well, let's see it. Let's just let it adjust. So we're 187, 190. So again, you can see this thing can handle the power. Let me put the fan on high. It won't go that much higher, maybe a little over 200 possibly. So we're going to lower the fan for a minute because now we're going to want to connect the refrigerator. The fan's on low. We'll be right back. Okay, we plugged the refrigerator in, but we didn't turn the power on yet. We're going to do that at the power station to try to catch the startup wattage. All right, we're going to plug this in now. It's going to light up, and then we're going to want to watch the wattage there. All right. 245, 222. So you know, had a good jump there while it was powering the refrigerator. Then it kind of adjusts because the refrigerator is already cold and it's pretty darn efficient. So we are at 191 watts right now. We've got the 55-inch TV, we've got our internet, we've got LED lights behind the TV, right? We've got our fan running, and we've got our full-size refrigerator plugged in. And again, the refrigerator is a newer refrigerator. I will put some spec information on the right side right now so you can see some information on the refrigerator. And let's go over to there. Let's go over to the refrigerator and check that out. So it's lit up here. We are getting power. And of course, there we go. Our food and our refrigerator are on. Pretty nice. Averaging 191 watts right now. But keep in mind, when the compressor kicks on, you know, that thing is going to go up to like 300 watts. You know, we're at 191 now. So it'll add like another 100 watts when the compressor kicks on. Good morning. Well, it's 7:34 in the morning, and we are going to test this little guy here to see how long it can power my full-size refrigerator. Now I'm going to put up some information in the right-hand corner for a moment. If you want, hit pause, and you'll be able to see that is a 2021 refrigerator. It's a full-size refrigerator. Very efficient though. But let's go ahead and start this test. It's 7:35 in the morning. I'm going to turn on the AC outlet. And our startup wattage here jumped up to 74 real quick. 76. 28. All right, it's going to settle because the refrigerator has been on. As you can see, it's going to 0 wattage for now. And then throughout the day, it'll obviously fluctuate. It's 7:35 in the morning. The refrigerator's on. Let's see how long this can power the refrigerator. Now, one thing I noticed about the display that I like, I didn't know this because before, there's a display button. So, you know, if you don't want your display to burn out, just hit display. It actually turns the display off, but the unit is still on. It's still powering the AC outlet. So I like that. Initially, the battery was showing when I hit this button earlier on in the video. So I do like that feature. So the display will stay off while it's powering the refrigerator. 8:35 in the morning. Let's take a look and see in an hour, just 1 hour, we used 5% of the battery. I'm going to wait a couple of hours now to do our next test, but I just wanted to see what it would do within an hour. 1 minute shy of 5 hours. It's 12:34. And what do we got? We have 70% battery left in 5 hours. I'm amazed by this little thing. 5 hours with 70% left. No wattage going out right now. And yeah, we're still plugged in, guys. But yeah, that is nice. 10 hours in, 5:34. We've got 59 watts going out, but we got 22% battery left. 10 hours in. I am so impressed. You know, 10 hours in, 22% left. Wow. All right. We'll see the final time coming up soon. All right, we're 11 hours in. 11 hours, and let's see. We've got 39 watts going out. It's 13%. 11 hours in, 13%. We still got more time. So I'm standing here watching this, and all of a sudden, the power turns off at 10%. It says the battery is dead. It has 10%. And obviously the power is off on the refrigerator. All right, well, 6:56. It lasted a long time, but I think that's odd. 10%. And the battery's dead. That's confusing. So I'm out here, and I haven't had really good sun in a couple of days. I'm going to do a little demo on the RockPals solar panel with the RockPals power station, but the RockPals solar panel doesn't have any kickstands. So I went out and picked up some of these guys. These are actually art easels, and you can lay the panel on it, which is kind of cool. I'll show you how they assemble and disassemble. It's real easy, but let me grab the panel. So I laid the solar panel on the art easels. I'll show you those in a minute. Really simple. It does come with some barrel adapters and a little booklet for a 100-watt panel. And the only complaint I'm having, I don't even know if you can see the screen, but I have a 97% charge, and this is one of the cons, is it's not showing the input wattage. It is charging because the battery is obviously going up. And if you look in the back of the panel, the junction box in here is lit up in red, if I can get to it quick enough. Sorry, guys. But that's lit up in red mainly because it's receiving power. Now, the junction box does have a USB Type-C and 2 USBs, which is nice. As you can see how it sits here on these art easels, and it's not adjustable, but if you just want to take your panel out and, let it soak up some sun, it's not a bad idea, And I'll put some links in the description for these, but basically, as you could see, the panel just sits right in it. And yeah, we're getting a little bit more sun now. And then you can kind of straighten it out. So I've got 3 of them on. It might work with 2, but I've got 3 of them on. But we are getting sun, as you can see with the shade now. Again, 99% now. So it is charging. I just don't know what wattage we're getting from that panel by using this power station, because it is showing 0 input right now. Now, I did pick up a solar panel multimeter, and this can be helpful times like this when you don't really know what you're getting. So let me set this up and we'll check and see what we're getting. So let me go ahead and just disconnect the solar panels for a minute, and I'm using a solar disconnect tool. Most of this MC4s require that you push this in. It has to push these pins in order to disconnect like that, okay? But let's go ahead and plug these in and see what we're getting. I'll turn this on auto. So we're getting about 20 watts right now. maybe 21 watts out of a 100-watt panel. VOC's 22.79. So yeah, we're really not getting much. Again, there's not much sun right now, but just wanted to show you what was coming in. So yeah, we're getting a little over 20 watts right now. All right, I'll put some links in the description if you're interested in this stuff. But yeah, not too happy on that display. So the solar panel does have these rings on both sides if you want to hang this. Again, it doesn't have any kickstands on the back, but as I close this up, you'll see here, you just clip these guys on, and carry handle. It's okay, it's decent. I'm not going to say it's great quality, it's decent. Your back section here for, again, your junction box, which will give you DC input, Type-C, and then two USBs. So you do get a DC input in here as well. It's 100 watt. We'll put the link in the description for this one. But yeah, here is, these guys are art easels actually. And this comes fully assembled. So you just close it up, push these down, push this up, and that's it. So these can be helpful for smaller panels. All right. We'll put links in the description. Brooklyn's been hanging out with us all day here. Right, Brooklyn? There she goes. All right, it is now time to go over pros and cons. And if you know my channel, I'm always going to start with the cons and end with the pros. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. There are more cons to this power station than pros. I'm sorry, but I have to be honest. So let's talk about the first con. Number one, there's no app. So you can't do any firmware updates and you have no remote control. Okay, fine. Number two, you can't charge this and run AC at the same time. And that's known as pass-through charging, right? So I can charge this and use the USB ports, but I can't charge this and use the AC ports. So that's number two. Number three, we had issues with understanding the battery. And let me tell you why. When this is dead, and you think it would be 0%, it actually shows 10%. This is not a brand new unit. This has been out for a while. So showing 10% when it's dead doesn't make sense. They've got to fix that. The other thing is, this thing takes way too long to charge. It took us almost 8.5 hours to charge this by plugging it into AC. All right? And it only slow charges at 71 watts. Now, they should up that a little bit. Look, not everyone wants to fast charge, but to have to wait 8.5 hours to then take this with you, and while it's charging, you can't plug anything in AC, not good. The other problem we had, and you'll see this in the review, is the screen quality just isn't there. When we're outside with a little bit of sun, it was almost impossible to see this screen. All right? And especially when we were out doing solar. So go to our solar part and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, the other thing too is when this screen was on, at a certain part in the video we showed you, there's bleed through on the corners of the screen. So the quality of this screen, and not just in brightness and being clear, but the way they built the screen, they just looked like it was slapped together with crazy glue. The other thing is you don't have UPS mode, right? So you can't use this for UPS mode. And that's it, Other than that, I think the other thing that we had a problem with was while we were charging this, it wasn't showing the input wattage. All right, so it would be like 96% and it'll say 0 input while it was still charging. So as you can see there's a bunch of stuff going on in the cons. Look, on the pros, this thing's got an Anderson port, which can be very helpful. It's small and light and powerful. So that's pretty cool. And it's got a nice design. Guys, that's really it. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about our final conclusion. So my final thoughts on this, and they're going to be very similar to the pros and cons, right? If I rated this power station out of 0 to a 10, I would probably give it a 6. It just needs work. And this has been around for a while. It's not brand new. The display quality, right? The percentage quality on the battery, no UPS, no AC pass-through charging. right? I mean, there were just too many things. It took too long to charge. So it's a shame. Yeah, it's got a nice design. It's small. It's powerful. Hey, it ran our refrigerator for over 11 hours. That's great. I was also disappointed in how RockPals supported us as a channel. While we were doing this review over the last, couple of weeks, we would email them and then they would ask us to call customer service. I mean, that's just not how you support a channel that's trying to put up a really good review and get accurate information and get our questions answered, especially on the issues we were having. So we really weren't happy with that. Look, this is a sponsored video. It's my first one with RockPals, but I had to be honest with you. So guys, I really hope that you appreciate the honesty in the review, and I hope somehow this helped you. If you were going to buy this or you're not going to buy this, I'm not sure, but give us a thumbs up. That would really help the channel. Number two, if you're not subscribed to our channel, take a moment, subscribe. We would love to have you on the channel. Share our video as well, and I'll put our social media up top. If you want to go ahead and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. Guys, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Hey guys, take a moment and give us a thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it. As you can see, Brooklyn, she's waving her tail for you. Take a moment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell and you'll get notified of new videos we come out with. Also, follow us and contact us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. We'd love to have you. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.